Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Artem, and yeah, thanks. Thank you. And I'm working as a director of monetization products at Xsolla. And it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. For the last 7 years, I've been helping companies to build monetization strategies that actually work. And throughout the course of my career, I was blessed to work with companies like Twitch, Take-Two, Nexters, Roblox, Faceit, Team17, Steam, Sega, Tilting Point, Epic Games, Ubisoft, and many other companies, which unfortunately I cannot name. Freaking NDAs, I love lawyers. Anyways, I hope you will enjoy this. Let's start. So, let's agree on this. All of us have the same goal, to maximize a game's revenue potential, right? Right? No? Yeah, okay. But for the first time in history, mobile market is actually start to shrinking. And there are several reasons for that. So less time spent on gaming, thanks to post-pandemic effect. Inflation, of course, is making people less willing to spend money, games included. And then there are some changes in platform policies that definitely ain't making our life any easier. But for those of you who are open-minded, I have a pretty valuable information to share. Let's talk about web shops. And I think we should begin with defining the term web shop because there is a lot of confusion and misunderstanding around this thing. And let's first of all distinguish platforms from web shops. And platforms are non-customizable B2C marketplaces that help to top up mobile games basically with like virtual currency all the time. And there is nothing bad with these platforms. They work, it's totally fine. But please be aware that basically you're giving up the most valuable resource that you have, your players. And of course, those platforms will, well, they will sell their praise to other companies to sell their own services. And of course, your competitors included in this roster. Web shop, on the other hand, is a standalone web store that was created especially for your game so that you own your players, you own their data, you own experience and all other important aspects. And another thing that I often hear is that web shop is just a landing page somewhere in the internet to basically top up your game. And this is absolutely wrong. Because in reality, web shop is direct-to-consumer web store that extends games' live operations by utilizing promotion, engagement, and retention mechanics that actually help to monetize players in the most personalized way possible. So everything else is just top-up pages that never become game changer for you or for your game, of course. So I want to emphasize that web shop is an extension to your game. It's an extension to your live operations. It is an extension to your player's experience. So treat it like this, and you will be amazed by the results that you can get. So let me show you some numbers. On average, I see something like from 30 to 40% like paying users switching from mobile game to the web store. And let me remind you that with web shops, you don't have to pay 30% fee to the platform. So now do math in your head. Yeah, I think you understand where it's all going. Okay, the next one. From 40 to 60% conversion rate to purchase. Yeah, I understand. You probably need a second or two to ingest this information. 2 seconds of silence. Okay, move on. On average, you will get something from 12 to 20% of incremental revenue. And this is just average numbers. This is not the maximum that I saw. Okay, final one. Just final one. 5 is the average number of repeated purchases per month. Pretty amazing, right? Just imagine how your game's life, how your company's life, how your personal life will change if you will add those numbers to your current results. Like it? Good. Moving on. And the last thing that I want to mention, speaking about what webshop is this. Simply put, webshop's mission is to change how players think about play and pay. And the new normal should be this. Mobile is where I play. Web is where I pay. If you will carry only one thing out of my speech, please let it be this. Okay. Well, now we're all on the same page, and we can actually get to nitty-gritty details. So, we will cover several topics. You can see them on the screen. I will return here from time to time, so just you can track our progress. And let me introduce you to 3 elements of a successful web shop. And the first element is messaging. So you have to drive awareness of the web shop existence and reinforcement of increased value outside of the mobile ecosystem. Second element is incentive. Hyper-clear value that surpasses any added friction of being outside of the platform. And the third element is actually reducing friction. Easy to transact with seamless account authentication, instant value from purchases, and reduced steps to complete the purchase. So let's take a closer look at each of those. And starting, of course, with messaging. So if you want to build a web shop that will actually earn, you have to treat community management very seriously. And you need to have at least one dedicated channel. It could be Discord, social medias, emails, whatever works. You need to focus your efforts on whales first, because webshop is just so good working with your whales. Then you can move, of course, to other paying users and non-paying users too, because, webshop can actually help to convert them to paying users. Please remember this. Having a dedicated communication channel will save you a lot of time and effort. So if you are not investing your time and money into this right now, you better start doing it right now. And actually, there are 2 steps that I highly recommend to take. And the first one is creating awareness of the web shop existence and its value. And we will talk a lot about value. I think I will repeat this phrase like 5 times maybe, that value is the king of the web shop. Value is the king. The step number 2 actually is to reinforce increased value of the web shop. And you want to continuously work on this part like forever. So, another addition. The more core your genre is, the easier it would be, of course, to build a well-working communication channel. But of course, it doesn't mean that your casual game cannot benefit from the web shop. Of course it can. But you have to invest heavily in communication channels. You have to talk with your customers. You have to talk with players. You have to have ability to do so. Okay, the second element is incentive. So adding a clear value that will surpass any added friction is crucial for the web shop. Non-mobile payments, obviously have added friction. So users need to see value very clearly. And there are actually 3 steps, I would say 3 areas that needs your attention. And the first one is, first-time purchase. This is the most difficult transaction as far as you know, I guess. So create web-exclusive offers with value far, far higher than on mobile. So let me remind you that we're actually trying to form a new habit, which is always, pretty tough task, I would say. So you need to position your web shop as a place where players will always find something valuable. The second thing is repeat purchase. And subsequent purchases require ongoing incentive and mechanics to break the habit of previous purchasing behaviors. And the third thing here is repeat visit. So you need to encourage the habit to visit the shop as often as possible with the help of free gifts, special events, very clear value, and marketing campaigns, of course. Well, I guess you have a lot of questions about implementation of those things, so no worries, we will cover that in details further down the road. Okay, so the third element here is actually reduced friction, and this is very crucial. So let me highlight 3 areas of highest friction for users. And the first one is authentication. Ability to see offers based on authentication actually leads to very high bounce rates. So please avoid adding like age gating, two-factor authentication, stuff like that, that might kill your web shop completely. What to do with that? Well, just do it in app, because web shop is an extension to your game. You can do everything in your app. Age gating, authentication, and verification, everything should be done there. Second thing is a clear added value. So this, web shop should be a very frictionless experience where user does not have to figure out the value. So please, don't make them jumping from the game to the web shop with calculator, just trying to understand what is the discount, how much value I will get. This is just ridiculous. Don't do things like that. And the last thing here is payment detail input. So, well, adding payment details to the new system, well, it's always pain in, well, a lot of different parts of our body, I would say. So additional goal of communicating value is that users actually can foresee the repeat spend, and they will save their payment method. And actually do not hesitate to, well, reward them for that. Give them something meaningful if they will save their payment method. It's very crucial, believe me. Okay, moving forward. I think like 70% of questions that I receive about web shop is about how to move players from the game, well, to the web shop, obviously. Okay, let's talk about it a little bit. So there are 3 groups of communication methods that could be used to drive players to your web shop. And the first one is community. Discord, Reddit, social medias, forums, newsletters, well, everything actually work pretty well. But one of the most efficient channels is actually, surprisingly, messengers. Well, because it's a very personal way to communicate with your players. But, well, this approach will require preparations because, well, you have to have some tech that will cover this part. You have to have, like, experts who will work on that. So I call this conversational commerce, and this is a very interesting topic that we won't discuss right now because it's a pretty big new stuff. But if you're interested, please find me. I will be happy to talk about it in details. Second thing is actually advertising, retargeting campaigns. I will talk about it a little bit later, more because this is like a kind of magic for the web shop. Institutional ads, rewarded video, and influencers, especially with drops campaigns, work pretty well. And the third thing is actually in-app call to actions. Well, yes, as of now, you can't directly promote web shop inside your game. It's just forbidden. You cannot tell something like, click here and go pay somewhere else. It's just, you can't just fish things like that. But this is not a problem, actually, because, well, you can do it pretty smart. Just promote something else. Like, hey, go there and check leaderboards. 100% legit. Go there and grab some free items. 100% legit. So there is a lot of ways to promote webshop directly within the app. Well, but I think within the year situation will change and we will have ability to promote webshop directly within the app without any problems because, well, last Kurt already changed the situation in the better. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of these methods in more details. And let's start with social networks and forums. Players will more likely trust your web shop when they will, well, learn about it on an official channel. So that's why it's so crucial to have such channel. So again, if you don't have one, please start working on this immediately. So you need to write a series of blog posts about web shop opening, offers, free gifts, build awareness step by step. It will take some time and it's absolutely normal. Newsletters. Okay, I know, you might think that emails is something obsolete, games don't use that. Wrong. I've seen a lot of successful cases with that. So I suggest to collect players' emails, especially whales. Use those emails to let your players know about web shop opening. Well, and it's always a good idea to attach gift codes, promo codes, stuff like that for web-exclusive free offers that can only be redeemed on your web shop. And of course, do not hesitate to use limits like time limits, quantity limits, false scarcity, every single monetization technique that can help you to help your player make a right decision. Okay, retargeting. Oh, this one is really smart thing to do. Because the beauty of the retargeting is that it's a 100% legit way to actually promote your web shop inside of the game. Just not necessarily your game, because this is how retargeting works. And you can actually just show the bundle, say, hey, click, go there and buy. And it's 100% legal. Apple, Google, they can do a thing about that. So just use the thing. It's pretty smart. And I see Addictive is here. And this is a pretty actually good DSP who know for sure how to work with retargeting for the web shops. Why? Well, we are partners. Why not? Okay. Let's summarize things a little bit. So here are 4 steps that you actually want to take to promote web shop. And the first one would be make a super clear value proposition to your first-time visitors. Please spend some time on that. This is pretty crucial, I would say. Second, add a web shop link to all main communication channels, everything that you've got. Third, send a newsletter, an app notification, message in Messenger, whatever. The goal at that stage is to notify as many players as you can. And the last thing here, well, you need to constantly reinforce communication about web shop's value. Special events, free giveaways, new bundle, new characters, whatever. Use every single opportunity to promote your web shop and its value. Okay. Let's move on to another topic, what to sell on your web shop. And what you are selling is actually tools that should be used pretty selectively depending on your goals. And there are 2 main goals that you probably should pay attention to. The first one is to increase awareness and motivate a first purchase. And this is actually how you can do it. I will show you several techniques, several types of items that actually will help to solve this problem. And the first one is free items. Well, they are perfect for so many things. Show ease of purchasing flow, show where the web shop is the place where the value always is, form a habit to check web shop daily. But to do things right, you need to demonstrate value of the free offers. So again, use limits, time limits, quantity limits, everything worked pretty well. But remember, do not be greedy. Do not be greedy, even with free gifts, because web shop, it's all about value. So even free gifts, they have to be meaningful. They have to mean something for your players. The next thing is first time purchase offer. So I think you understand the importance of these techniques because, well, we're trying to activate player on the web shop. Well, so it's kind of crucial to do it as soon as you can because we're trying to build new purchase behavior. So you need to create a bundle with exceptional value that can only be purchased once and is not available on mobile. Just like this. Okay. So make the value clear as soon as you can. Show it explicitly. Use UI. And it might sound like something pretty straightforward, but I've seen so many times that this was done pretty badly. So do not hide your value behind badly done design. It's just don't work at all. And the good news for us guys is that webshop users, they are not new players. You moved them from the game to the web store, which means you know them. So please tailor highly customized offers with so much value that it will be just impossible to refuse. So actually, if you know your player, if you know what they want, if they know what they bought before, it's pretty easy task actually to activate them on the web shop. Just give them twice more. That's it. That won't break your economy because it's a one-time purchase. Okay. Promo codes and coupons. So I would suggest to use that with a combination of influencers. But of course, please pay attention to what kind of influencer is that, because the audience, his audience should, of course, compare with your game. And of course, it should be something meaningful. If you give even free items or promo codes, it doesn't matter. Because we're trying to push them to make the first purchase, it's always have to be valuable. The opening event. So this one actually tires everything that we discussed so far. And this is how you will present your web shop to the world. So again, use time-limited offers, and this kind of thing should be only available for several days after opening of the web shop. And of course, again, your offer should be so irresistible that your players just won't stand the chance to walk away without a purchase. Focus your attention on first-time purchase experience, and this should be very carefully done. Plan every single step that your players need to make a purchase. So make it as easy as you can. Okay, and now, when the first purchase has been made, we can actually move to the second goal. And the second goal is to create a habit of purchasing of the web. And there is plenty of mechanics that you actually can utilize to achieve this one. Currency packages for whales. Wow, this one is so big. As there is no limitation on the price tiers on the web, I highly recommend you to sell packages that priced over 99 bucks. And I've helped to launch several web shops that actually now earn more than $100 million a year, only on web shop, of course. And they make like 50% of the numbers just by selling packages that cost more than $1,000. And I'm talking about, of course, it's core game, it's forex strategy games, stuff like that. But please do not hesitate to sell something expensive, because this is what your whales need. They don't need discounts, they need more value. Okay, loyalty program. And loyalty program are so good with increasing lifetime value and average number of repeated purchases. So again, we're trying to form new habit. I will repeat that again and again and again. So we want players to do repeated actions again, and again. So the more players purchase on the web shop, the more they will get from loyalty program, and the faster they will form new habit. So please don't forget that we're talking about web shop loyalty program. So this should be exclusive to your web shop. It's not the same thing as within the game. With this loyalty program, they should receive like special hard currency, for example, that of course they can get only on the web shop. After that, you should create several pretty unique items, like it could be cosmetics, whatever, it doesn't matter. But of course, players can get these items only on web shop using only this currency. Well, so I think you can actually see where it all goes because we are creating closed behavioral loop that will force players to form new habit just because there is so beneficial for them. This is very beneficial thing because the value will always be king for the web shop. Okay. Seasonal offers and battle passes. And these methods are very good to form a habit. So webshop unique version of Battle Pass will give players a reason to visit your webshop as often as daily. Well, I've seen cases where games created like VIP version of their Battle Passes, more expensive one, of course, but with more value. Because you know your whales, you can actually focus on them and provide them with items that you know are interesting for them. So please spend some time tailoring this kind of offers. It just work pretty well. Okay, we are already close to the end, so please hang in with me. And last but not least, I want to highlight like the most common pitfalls that we've seen while we launched so many web shops, and they are following. Let's go through them. First one, not provided enough value. And I've seen case with AAA mobile shooter game that actually start selling the exact same items, absolutely the same thing, same SKUs. Is just horrible because there is no value. And believe me, your players, they are not idiots. They understand that you will earn more with webshop. And they are totally fine with this, but they want to get something out of it as well. Don't be greedy. Well, adding too many frictions. As I previously said, do not hide your webshop. Do not use like very complicated and sophisticated authentication systems, age gating, all this stuff. Do it within your app. I already told that like selling pretty much the same SKUs with the same value and prices is just a mistake that you should avoid all of the time. The second thing is giving discounts instead of added value. Well, why giving up your revenue? And believe me, whales, they don't care about discounts. Just don't care. They want more. They want to get more. Give them more. Next one. Ignoring personalization and promotions. Yeah, absolutely. If you want to do live operation on your web shop, that will require time. That will require effort. But it always paid out because the numbers that you can get out of this thing is just amazing. Just amazing. Not promoting your web shop openly. I understand this is a completely new thing and everyone is scared to like piss off Apple, Google, but we launched like already more than 150 web shops, and we've seen 0 negative cases. None, nada. Not a single one. Just stay within Apple guidelines, do what they told to do, no problems at all. You can openly talk about web shop, there is no limitations to that. Adding no resources to managing your live operations with web shop. As I said, it will require some time, it will require some effort, but it will always pay out. Trying to build everything from the beginning. Monetization doesn't really work like that. It's an iterative process. Start with something simple, but not too simple, and then add more and more functionality. A/B test anything. This is how actual monetization should be built. Well, and of course, the biggest problem is not building web shop at all. Well, avoid this mistake. Okay, so that's a wrap, and I want you guys to know that we have just scratched the surface of this topic. But the main idea is pretty straightforward. Web shops are here, and they won't go away anytime soon. More than that, their time to shine has just started. So actually, it's up to you guys to shine or to see your competitors outshine you. So I hope this was interesting and helpful. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.